Always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Hello, everyone. We're coming here live from Thompson Bowling Arena on this fine December 27th after the Lady Vols absolutely came out of the holiday break with the resounding win, 91-41 over Chattanooga. People are starting to roll in. Credence is here, and Denise, and Trina Ammons, and Nancy, and Trish, and Deb. All y'all rolling in. I left a message for Lex, but I'm not sure she's going to make it. So you may just get me again. Sorry about that. But at least we all get together and talk. Renee is here. Deb is here. Julie's here. Get a little bit of water in this balmy spring weather that we're having. Kathy said a great win. I completely agree. Giving them the cards that they used to mark our little spots. Cleaning crew's coming in. It's just post-game media relations crew, the cleaning crew, and me. That's all we got here in Thompson Bowling right now. That was an impressive win. Obviously, Chattanooga's had some injury issues. This is not the roster Chattanooga had hoped it would have in December, which is obviously a lot of teams have been like that, and Chattanooga has done what it can with what it has, and has struggled some with the missing players. But I think what was impressive for Tennessee is that they've been off a week and didn't look like they ever stepped off the court. And Kelly noted that means players found the court and the gym when they were at home, because otherwise you're rusty if you don't do that. So absolutely indication that plenty of players didn't just rest. You want them to get some rest, though, but they still managed to get in the gym and keep their minds on basketball. I was going to sneeze, guys. I ain't going to sneeze. Sorry. It's not COVID. I swear the allergies are acting up again because we're hitting 70 and the trees have buds on them again. It's insane here. Donna said she left at the end of the third quarter. Hurt her back. I'm so sorry about that. She hurt her back earlier in the day, not at the game. Donna did not play in the game. I want to indicate that Donna did not hurt her back playing, and she had to leave at the end of the third quarter. Julie asked any more news on Horston. No, she's just under the weather. Not COVID. Tennessee made that clear. It's not a COVID issue. She just, honestly, I think a lot of the different temperature changes, and there are some other viruses going around and some colds and allergies, and not sure what Jordan has, except that Tennessee did say it was not COVID. Expected her back soon. She was at shoot around, wasn't feeling well, and they decided it was best for her to rest. So that's what they did. And I mean, normally in a non-pandemic year, which we've now had two, this is the time of year when teams start getting sick. The flu goes around and colds go around. So it's not unusual to have players out and be under the weather at this time of year. It's just everybody now, because of the pandemic, it causes more panic, for lack of a better word, than usual. Like, is something seriously wrong? So she is okay there. Kathy said allergies bad. Now they are. It's like springtime here in East Tennessee. Credence said he met Caroline Tess and Kelly. That's good. That's a nice threesome to meet. Kathy said, glad all the players got good minutes, played hard, showed heart. Kathy, I agree. And that was one thing we asked Kelly about after the game. It is easy to lose focus when you go up 20, 30, 40, 50. And Kelly was obviously using a lot of people, a lot of different combinations, getting a lot of minutes. It is easy for a team to sort of look out of sync, out of sorts. Everybody stepped on that court and just kept playing hard. In my opinion, Part of it is that their personality. Part of it's they love basketball. Part of it is they're taking on the personality of their coach, and that's Kelly. Kelly won't ever take credit for that, but that was the way Kelly played. And they understand the expectation of what she expects. So Donna pointed out the first three by Sarah was awesome. I agree. Just set the tone right there. Get the ball, put up a pretty shot, nothing but net. That is exactly what you need Sarah to do because she can hit that shot. Donna said bad flu and cold in Knoxville. Yeah, there's a lot of sniffling people, a lot of people who don't feel well. And a lot of it is not COVID. Now, some of it is. We're like everybody else. There's spiking numbers, but right now it's like there's just a whole bunch of things that can come at you right now. A year ago this time, I mean, there are hardly any fans here. Everybody still was in isolation, so it sort of wiped out all the other viruses that we had to deal with. But now we got all of them coming at us. So, yeah, I'm going to sniffle too, just in solidarity. And I've also had my mask on, 2 masks for the last 4 hours, so I'm that could be part of it too. Chattanooga. They have played, like I said, 3 SEC teams, including Tennessee. And the coach said after the game, she set up the schedule with the roster she anticipated having, but they're doing the best they can. And I think there's 4 players for Chattanooga that are out. One was their other leading scorer that got hurt this season. So it makes for a tough, as Tennessee knows, and no, there's no change in Ray. She was courtside as usual. Not in basketball clothes and warm up type gear, but not dressed out to play. So still waiting any change on Ray's status. Now, of course, she just got back. All of the players either rolled in. I think some got in today. Several got in last night. So. Or yesterday afternoon, depending on how far they had to travel. The award for longest travel definitely goes to Jessie Rennie. We asked for her post game. Primarily, one, she had a really good game. She had multiple assists. Actually, wait a minute. Jessie had 1 assist. Jordan Walker had 8 assists. Wow. Tess Darby had 6. Jessie Rennie had 1. I thought I counted more for Jessie. I thought she found 2 shooters, but that's what the stat box says, so we'll go with that. She had the longest trip back because she flew home to surprise her sister and her parents. She managed to make it back to Australia. She looked like she was barely awake when we got her back. The jet lag, it's like a 24-hour flight. And she purposely, when she returned, stayed up and went to shoot around and has basically tried to get herself back in the United States time of her body thinking that, no, it's not time to be asleep. It's time to be awake. But the crowd absolutely erupted when she scored. This pretty savvy crowd. They seem to know what's going on, and they were so excited when Jessie scored. But she had a friend of the family who helped her set everything up, who was there at the house and texting, and Jessie was texting her as she made the trip, and then she walked in and surprised her family over the holidays, and they had not seen her in over a year. So outstanding job by Jessie to pull off that surprise. Trish said, hope Jordan is feeling better. Same. If you're not, I mean, the best thing you can do is to, if you're not feeling well, get some rest. I mean, there's no equivalent cure to rest and getting some sleep and taking care of yourself. Trying to look at the other comments. Dwayne said, I remember seeing Pat get so upset when her teams play down to other teams. And Dwayne, it's a common thing to happen. I mean, it is not an uncommon thing. It is hard to maintain that focus for 40 minutes when you are up that long. So, I mean, really, credit to this team. And I'm not saying they're not going to have moments like that. I mean, I'm not saying they're not robots. They can't just turn that on. But to come back out of Christmas and still be that focused is a very good sign of their competitive maturity. Kimberly's doing the math over there. Said Jordan, Tess, and Sarah had 19 assists between them. That's Tennessee had 30 assists on 37 made baskets. That is incredible. Incredible number of assists on baskets, and only 14 turnovers, which is once again a very manageable number. And some were just, unfortunate variety. Some trying to make a pass and didn't quite get through, or opponent gets a hand in the passing lane. Those are going to happen. So really manageable number of assists. Rebounding 56 to 24. This team is an incredible rebounding team. The 30 assists was the most in, I think, 4 years. Eric Trader gave that stat for media relations, the most since 30 plus, getting into the 30 range was the most since 2017. So credit to Tennessee. The first 6 baskets of the game were all done with assist. Jordan Walker, like we said, had 8. Sarah Puckett had 5. Tess Darby had 6. Brooklyn Miles had 4. Kaya Wynn had 3. And Brooklyn Miles is fun to watch. If you like to see a player be an absolute pest, and I mean an absolute pest on defense, watch Brooklyn. I would not want to have the ball when she was on the floor, because even if she doesn't steal it, she's going to make you work. She is going to make even Tennessee's up 40 and she's still hounding the ball. She is just going to make you work to get that ball up the floor. It's not going to be easy. And that wears on a point guard over the course of a game, which as a point guard she would really know. So it's fun to watch her play. It's fun to see Kaya Wynn playing the way everyone knows she can play. I mean, everybody who followed her in high school, and her teammates jumped in to say that's how she practices too. Really good to see her getting the results on the court. Donna said UTC played scrappy. They did. They didn't let up, and that's hard to do too when you're just getting absolutely beaten in a game like that. You can get down and your effort can wane, and it did not for Chattanooga. Alexis has texted me. She should watch the game. She's in the car now. How do we do? So I'm having to tell her. Excuse me. Otherwise, she would be in here talking, so I wouldn't have to talk so much. Margaret said, I'm hoping to see TK continuing to score the ball. Same. She looked good. I mean, a very aggressive move to the basket. Now, obviously, she's got much smaller forwards trying to check her. I mean, Chattanooga had nobody to compete with her size, obviously. Sometimes that can frustrate a post player because they're putting a lot of body on you, and the officials aren't going to call it. They're going to beat up your lower body. But she just stayed focused. Tamari has also really done a great job at the free throw line. She was 2 of 3. I'm going to point out the players who did well at the line. Tamari Key, 2 of 3. Kean Green, 2 of 2. Caroline Striplin, 2 of 2. Emily Saunders, 2 of 2. Caroline Striplin is automatic at the line. It's cool to watch her shoot free throws. As a team, Tennessee was 55%, 11 of 20. That number has got to get up. That is going to eat you alive in the SEC. And I know Kelly knows it, and I know the team knows it. And you just have got – I don't know what it would take to do it. And like I said, it's not necessarily all repetitions, because what it is basically is repeatable form. So some of that is repetition and some of that is just focus and concentration. It's sort of a mixture of both, and you got to go up to the line with both. Caroline Striplin is just absolutely automatic at the line. Sarah Puckett's an excellent free throw shooter too. So, but team-wide, that is going to that is not an SEC kind of number. They're gonna have to get better. And SEC play, of course, starts Thursday. What is the expression, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, because my goodness, we're seeing cancellations all over the place. Auburn already had to postpone with Kentucky. Now Ole Miss has had to postpone with Arkansas. We're seeing it in ACC, the Big East. It's just pandemic is continuing to have its way with us, which is what a pandemic does. A highly contagious disease behaves like a highly contagious disease. So it's everybody just stay safe as you can, make good decisions, and let's somehow get to the other side of this where we're not all having to live like we live in a pandemic. I never want to be in a pandemic ever again. We're coming up on 2 years of this one? Ugh. Karen said, loved how Emily's game has improved. I agree. And Emily, she's a great teammate. Crowd loves her. It's always good to see her score. Always good to see her do well when she gets in. Tennessee did break its streak of 11 straight games with a double-double. Several players got close, and Kelly said she actually put Alexis Dye back in there for a minute or two to try. Alexis was at 15-8. Tamari was at 18-7, and she did that in just 16 minutes. And Caroline Strickland was 12-9. But Kelly also pointed out that this was a game where you want to get minutes, particularly in this pandemic era. You do not know game to game what could happen to your roster. I mean, even if they're not sick, does contact tracing get them or quarantine issues? So, as she said, Emily Saunders needed those minutes. She needs to get those minutes. We've got to get her experience too, and that's important for Emily and the team's overall development. It's also so important in a pandemic because you never know when you may go into a game with 7 or 8 available players, and you certainly don't want half of them not to have hardly played any minutes or gotten in games. So Kelly's kind of looking at the big picture here too. She's got to be sure that she's got players that have game experience. Every single player reached double digits in minutes, from 13 minutes to 23 minutes. I mean, you can't. Kelly had 11 players to work with in this case. So that was that's just something that's really important to develop a bench, because this it could be a season where you really, really need it. I'm trying to get through all the comments. Y'all talking about Kaya Wynn. Yeah, Kaya Wynn is a lot of people there's a lot to like about her game. She's a savvy player. She's quick. Brooklyn Miles is quick too. My goodness, those 2 freshmen are quick. She makes good decisions. She can get to the rim. So it's just all 4 freshmen have been absolute pleasure to watch. Dorothy said, did y'all already talk about Horston's absence tonight? And I missed the explanation. Dorothy, we did that really fast. Jordan Horston is just under the weather. Not COVID, which now Tennessee released that because at this point you sort of have to say everything. Otherwise people assume it's COVID if you can. I mean, so they were able to say under the weather, not COVID. She was at shoot around. She had not been feeling well all day. She came to shoot around and tried to participate and just was not feeling well. And they sent her back to the dorm to get some rest. I will emphasize again that it is absolutely not a COVID related issue. And she's hopefully back Thursday. I mean, you just, anytime there's any kind of virus or infection, you got to let it run its course, whatever the case may be. And Dorothy, the other thing we pointed out is that this time of year, when we're non-pandemic, it's not unusual to have players out with the flu or some players under the weather or players with colds or some other or bronchitis or something. It's just now when a player's out that we all panic, like, oh my God, not the Rona, but she is okay. So that's good. Donna said, Kelly thanked the fans for coming out. And Kelly always thanks the media after the game. It was funny after our presser tonight, she said, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. And now everybody could take that to mean she meant hopefully because of COVID, but she was speaking to the media and saying, hopefully y'all can make it here because a lot of the media are going to be in Nashville, of course, for the Music City Bowl, which overlaps with Tennessee's SEC opener. So she was not saying hopefully as in expecting a outbreak, but she was saying hopefully as the media would be available. And the usuals will be here to cover the team, particularly with the SEC opener against Alabama. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You cannot overlook any conference opponent. This is the toughest conference in the country. As Kelly pointed out, the top is better and the bottom of the conference is better too. And she goes, if you sleep on any team, if you take a minute or two off a game, you can lose that game. And the freshmen are about to find out. And the only way they can find out is if they experience. It's faster. It's more physical. It's just SEC play is it's a game for grown women, and a lot of the freshmen are going to grow up fast because they're getting ready to fixing, as we say in the South, they're fixing to find out. Dwayne said Christy Curry's a really good coach. Can't take anyone for granted. I agree. Every single SEC team is capable of beating another SEC team, and that is going to play itself out every SEC game. Obviously, Tennessee starts at home with Alabama, and then they go right to Arkansas, which I'm sure is bombing away from the arc. I know they can shoot threes. Credence point out that Tamari Key went over 200 blocks. She actually got credited with 2, which is good. So she's now at 201. She now has 4th place to herself. Sheila Frost, Kelly Kane, and Candace Parker are the 3 players ahead of Tamari Key. So outstanding block numbers for Key. Credence pointed out Tess was great. Yes, she was. She also connected on her first 3. She ended up with 9 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers, and a steal. Just, once again, a lot to look in this box score and like. Free throws overall, just don't look at those. Individual efforts on free throws, they look pretty good. Just got to get that team number up. Minutes played, plus or minus, the efficiency measuring. Sarah Puckett, was at plus 43. I think that's the highest I've seen so far. Jordan Walker was at plus 38. Tess Darby was at plus 35. Just an incredibly efficient team. Shot 54.4% overall, which is just outstanding. Kathy said, how many turnovers? 14. You want 15 or under? And that's a manageable number. A couple were effort plays, going for the ball and you going for a loose rebound, battling for the ball, and it goes off of you. I mean, those kind of turnovers you can live with. Yeah, Dwayne said plus 43. What? Yeah, I didn't know you could be plus 43 in a game in 23 minutes. 7 rebounds, 7 points, 5 assists, 1 block. That's an incredible plus minus. Donna said passes overthrown. A couple of those, you lead a player. Sometimes you think the player you're leading them to the basket and they don't move to the spot you thought. So, but that's always going to be a turnover on the person who made the pass. Some excellent passes inside tonight with leading the post player to the rim, putting the ball where only the Tennessee player could catch it. So, Margot said we have to keep our fouls down, especially since we're not getting to make them on the other end. Margot, goodness, who knows what's going to happen in the SEC? That just becomes the most puzzling whistles ever. So, I mean, yeah, you want to keep fouls down, but it's who knows? Who knows what you're going to get night in and night out in the SEC? It could be a whistle fest, or they could let you basically play rugby and barely call a foul. Personally, I'd rather they let them go at it than these whistle fests that we get sometimes, but you never know what you're going to get with what crew. Total foul calls. What were the total foul calls in this game? They were actually evened up in this game, 17-16. 17 fouls for Tennessee, 16 fouls for Chattanooga. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it was 17-16. Yeah. 17 for Chattanooga, 16 for Tennessee. So, Lationi, if I said that right, sounds like she's ready to play with the big girls in that presser. She is. Here's the post players do not like smaller players guarding them because they dig into them. They dig into their knees, their hips. They hold them. They got to do anything they can because they clearly they don't come up barely past the armpits or the shoulders of Tamari. So they get away with a lot because a lot of times the officials are looking up high. They're not looking low. And most post players you talk to, Candace among them, they would much rather go against a post player of their size because the officials are going to call it more even that way. They'd rather go up against size than keep getting picked to death in the lower body. So, and fortunately, the SEC's loaded with good post players. So, and Tamari's among those good post players. So, it'll be a fun league to watch. I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed anything. As y'all are chatty tonight. We'll make sure if I missed it, just ask me again down here in the scroll. Oops, I better do. Y'all know what I got to do. Where's my graphics? I did lead with Blue Water Climate Control. Yay me. I actually remembered to do that part. Here we go. Let's talk about our sponsors that we love so much. Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball. Alexis is getting back into teaching in the gym. Go visit alexishornbucklebasketball.com to see availability and reach out to her for an appointment. She will train girls, boys, any different age groups, different levels. Just reach out to her for that one-on-one training that will make your game better. Just pass it. Tutoring. Got to get those grades. Collective Unfiltered with Jamel Johnson and Alexis Hornbuckle, typically on Monday nights where they talk about just about anything. It's usually a lot of fun. Gold Standard, Jamel's sports performance and training facility in Atlanta. And, of course, Orange Mountain Designs, which just keeps putting out more and more product and tempting people to keep buying more and more stuff. And that's good because it all goes to support the Lady Vols as an officially licensed carrier of Lady Vols merchandise. I will warn people that this time of year, particularly Christmas, post-Christmas, when people have money and they're getting gifts, is be careful of scams. Facebook is full of them. Scam items for all kinds of things that say Lady Vols. It's not Lady Vols. Too often, it could be knockoffs that you may actually receive the product. It's probably going to be very inferior quality. The other thing are just rip-off organizations. They're just taking your credit, harvesting your credit cards and not sending you anything. Be very, very careful who you buy merchandise from, particularly if it comes to a Facebook ad. And make sure it's collegiate license. Make sure there is a number you can call. Make sure there is some way you can actually contact a person before you shop. Karen said, how do you see us doing in SC play and against UConn? I think Tennessee can compete with anybody. It's hard to really predict SEC play because, I mean, we're all day by day to day again with this pandemic. I mean, you just sort of are on edge. I mean, is the team going to make it? Is Tennessee going to have any issues? Is Tennessee's opponent going to have issues? So I think Tennessee has shown it can compete with anyone in the country and in the league. It is a horrifically hard league to play in. So, but this team is very much adopting the way Kelly wants them to play. And it will be interesting to see them hit adversity because you're going to hit adversity in the SEC during the game. Alabama's going to come in here and play and go right at you. And there's just a different feel, a different vibe, a different energy to SEC play. And none of these newcomers, Alexis including, I mean, she hasn't played in the SEC yet, can really know what's about to happen until they experience it. So January and February are great months, great conference play. I just hope for good health for all teams, everybody get back on the court. Bless the SEC for having to do this twister version of the schedule again, where you're moving teams around, trying to find open dates. All I ask is do not repeat what you tried to do to Tennessee when you wanted them to play 4 games in 1 week when they were at Texas A&M, supposed to go to Mississippi State on Tuesday, couldn't because of a snowstorm, had to come home and play South Carolina on a Thursday, and then boom, we're on the road at Georgia on a Sunday. Don't try to get 4 games in 1 week. Just don't do it. 3 max. So Donna said going to be a different type of gameplay on Thursday night. Absolutely. I mean, and Tennessee's faced some very good teams in this non-conference schedule. But yes, the SEC play, every rebound is contested, every loose ball is contested, every shot is contested. It's a different caliber of physicality, a different caliber of athlete, a different caliber of shooter. And in Tennessee, that target is there. And you had Tennessee, the newcomers have yet to really experience that kind of target that Tennessee has. So don't expect to get absolutely mauled inside, and you're not going to get the benefit of a whistle. There we go. Mikey said, I'm Mikey from Hawaii. Mikey hanging out in Hawaii. If you got to be in a pandemic, at least be in Hawaii. I'm loving how we are connecting outside the arc more. It truly will help spread the floor open to the middle more. We need that desperately. Mikey, I agree. Tennessee had several players hit 6 3-pointers tonight. Had 1, 2, 3 different players hit them. Tennessee, I agree. You've got to be a weapon from the arc. You've got to give Tamari. It gives Tamari and Alexis and Key, and when she comes in, gives them so much more room to operate inside. And Alexis is a fun player to watch. She does not need much space inside. She can absolutely get to that rim. Alexis had a 15 and 8. Just like I said, a fun player to watch. And if WNBA scouts are looking at her, she's got an intriguing game for the next level because she's so athletic. She can get to the rim. She's not settling for that jump shot. She's going right at it. Peggy said, aren't all 3 freshmen from Alabama? There's 2 from Alabama, Caroline Strickland and Sarah Puckett. So you would imagine they would be motivated. Brooklyn Miles is from Kentucky, and Kaya Wynn is actually from Nashville, but played her senior season of high school in the Houston area because of a family move. So 2 of the freshmen are, and then Alexis Dye is from Birmingham and played at Troy last season. So she is from right there in Alabama territory. So I don't think any Alexis Dye, Caroline Strickland, or Sarah Puckett will need any motivation to be ready for Thursday's game. I don't think anybody will. It's SEC play. It'll be fun. So I know the Music City Bowl is at 3:00. Tennessee game is at 6:30. If you can get here or watch on TV or scream from afar, or obviously the people in the stands is always ideal. There are more than 7,000 tonight. Pretty good turnout for a Monday night. So shout out to Lady Vol fans for making their voices heard and for being aware. One thing I love about being at games is how aware Tennessee fans are. They wanted Jessie Rennie to score, and they erupted when she scored. So it is fun to watch. Donna said she'll be in her section. Yay for Donna. Mikey said, go Lady Vols. Mahalo. I probably didn't say that right for the coverage. Mikey, you're welcome. I know it's Lady Vol fans are flung all over, so I try to over cover sometimes, give y'all long stories, a lot of video. In fact, I need to go do that very soon. Obviously, get the video over to Twitter. I've got it up on YouTube. And as far as shows tonight, with games tonight, and then again Thursday, and then again Sunday, I'm not going to do a regular weekly show. We'll just go with our post-game Thursday after Alabama and Sunday after Arkansas. So I think that is it. As always, thank y'all for coming. Y'all, this is a core group that is always here, and I so appreciate it. And I think we've also had a couple new people pop in. I appreciate y'all too. Spread the word, share the links, and I will be in here about the same time. I try to get in by 9:30ish on these 6:30 games. Go as quick as I can, and it's a great way to end the non-conference portion of the schedule in December. I won't say in the non-conference schedule because obviously UConn is in February, but now it's all SEC focus for several weeks. So as always, peace, be safe, wear your mask, be smart, don't get COVID, don't pass along COVID. Let's all get through this together, and peace.